All right, I'm going to just go through the Vba operators that we use to construct code, how we multiply and divide and do different functions in Vba. It's a lot like you do in Excel, so if you're quite familiar with Excel, it's almost the same. There are a few differences. And also, if you have experience working with a programming calculator, it's sort of the same thing where you're working with the order of operations. Shown here on this slide, we have the order of operations. Exponentiation comes first. That's in contrast to Excel. Excel actually is unique in that it does negation first. So if you did negative 3 caret 2 in Excel, it would give you 9, which is a little bit counterintuitive, but it negates first. Whereas in VBA, it does the exponentiation first and then does the negation. So in VBA, negative 3 caret 2 would be negative 9. Multiplication and division are the asterisk and the forward slash. You can do integer division using backslash. There's a really popular function called, at least in this course, it's popular. It's called mod. So that's the remainder. For example, if we did 5 mod 3, that would give us 2. All right, so it's going to be used quite a bit in this course. Addition and subtraction, plus and minus. If you're joining two strings or a string with a number, you can use the ampersand, which is this symbol, and that's joining two strings or joining a string and a number. It's used a lot in message boxes and input boxes. Relational operators, we have greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than, equal to, equal, and this is not equal to, so this is the equivalent of the not equal. We'll do some logical examples here in this course. We also have the not, so not true is false, not false is true, and meaning it'll give you a true if A and B are both true. So whatever comes before it and after it have to be both be true. Or means one or the other or both have to be true in order for the combination to be true. And then something XOR something means exclusively or, meaning you have to have a true and false or a false and true, but you can't have both trues. It has to be one has to be true, one has to be false. VBA's got a lot of built-in functions. Some of the most common ones are shown down here. As I'm going to show in a future screencast, and one of the other screencasts is how you can use Excel's built-in functions. So in VBA, there's a lot of these common functions. We have the absolute value, the square root, exponential. Very importantly, the log function in VBA is the natural log. Some others, the message box function and input box function are really important. You've probably already seen some of those in some examples that I've already gone through, some other screencasts in this module. Let's go through a couple examples of how you would put this into VBA syntax. If we had y plus 2 quantity times x minus 2 over this denominator, the way you do that in VBA would be you would write it like this. And the way that VBA interprets it is it always does functions first. So it calculates the square root, returns an answer to that position. It then starts with parentheses, order of operations. So it computes the y plus 2 result. Then it computes the x minus 2 result. It then multiplies those two to get a numerator result. And then it starts with the left on the denominator, calculates the x squared result, and it computes the x times y result, and adds up all three in the denominator, and then it divides the numerator result by the denominator result to get the final answer. So that's sort of how VBA calculates these different things. It's a lot like your programming calculator where it kind of works left to right. All right, let's go through a couple more examples. We have pi d squared over 4l. There is no built-in pi function. So a good way to denote pi in VBA is to do 4 times the arctangent of 1. So the tangent of pi over 4 is equal to 1, so you can use that property to define that as pi. So we can either write it like this. So this expression on the left would be written like that, or if we don't use parentheses in the bottom, we can divide twice because that left to right, the way that VBA reads syntax is left to right, so we can do that. This one we would have t minus TL divided by quantity A times quantity TH minus TL. So you can denote You can force the order of operations using parentheses. If we didn't want to use these outer parentheses here, you can always do the same thing like that we did above, where you divide by a and then take that result and divide by th minus tl in parentheses. Another example that there's an error in this, and I want you to try to figure out what's the error in this. So what we don't have is an asterisk right there, so there should be an asterisk between the two and the left parentheses. What about if we wanted to take the sine of 45 degrees? Could we just use sine of 45? Be careful, because in VBA, the trig functions, the arguments have to be in radians. So if you wanted to do the sine of 45 degrees, you'd have to first convert it to radians. What about logarithms and exponents? Well, the natural log of y, so we could take the exponential of both sides of this equation and we get the right-hand side, so remember that property. The natural log is the log function, so if you're wanting to use natural log, it's just log. The exponential function is just exp of x. If we wanted to write this, we could do just some properties. You could take 10 to the both sides of this equation. This is Antoine's equation, some of you might recognize. And to write this in VBA, we would have to do a change of base. Take log of the number divided by log of the base, and that is equal to, in this case, log 10 of p. We could write this expression 10 caret in quantity in parentheses a minus b divided by quantity t plus c. So that's it for basic expressions in VBA. Thanks for watching.